If you're really on Facebook and in the Marxist circles, you've probably recently recognized some really interesting stuff that's going on. Now, there is now a mounting huge backlash against SJWs, particularly identity politics people. There is now coming a real wave against the whole phony liberal, anti-Marxist ideology that is identity politics. Now, this has mostly been polarized around three figures. Myself, the originator, Gunnar Angeles, and Ricky Amol. Now, the three of us seem to be forming the new axis of evil on Facebook. Basically, it's the three of us that are the largest names when it comes to anti-identity politics. And according to the Facebook pages that attack all three of us, for some reason they bring up the LLCO, even though the LLCO has nothing to do with Facebook drama that's going on. And I don't even really have much to do with it, to be honest. It's just that my name keeps getting invoked, even though I frankly don't care. I mean, first world is going to first world. So basically what's happened is Gunnar Angeles has made a very strong stance against it, so has Ricky Amol. Now, Ricky Amol is an Indian man, as in from India, and speaks some of the languages, I believe, in India. Well, some Facebook pages have decided that Ricky Amol is a white supremacist, because that totally makes sense somehow. So basically, he made a few comments in, I believe it was Hindi, and because they can't read Hindi, they've now banned it. Basically, they're banning anything that's not in English, but then turn around and accuse Ricky Amol, a guy who's Indian, of being a white supremacist. Again, this really is the really nonsense drama that, if we actually had real Marxism, wouldn't even be going on. It's stupid Facebook drama because there isn't a real struggle in the first world taking place to actually capture the attention of people who call themselves Marxist. Now, what's really happening right now is the fact that identity politics people have been getting away with for a few years now, browbeating anyone who disagrees with them. Basically, they've been able to bully and harass people into silence. They've tried to do it to me, have made threats, really vague threats against me, not physical violence threats, because, well, my personal information is out there. I've been doxxed more than once, and if you were to threaten violence against me, well, you'd kind of have to back up your mouth, because you would have access to where to find me. But this has gone even more. Some Facebook pages who will remain nameless because they will cry victim if I say their names, have decided to go out and put up a meme how they're going to kill Gunnar Angeles, Ricky Amol, and another person whose name I can't remember at this time. But it's interesting to see the bullying that they're trying to do, like threatening to kill people. And this comes at a time when politics is being challenged. People are starting to get fed up with it. They're sick of people running around making, postmodernist accusations against people, frankly, wrecking unity. Literally destroying unity within parties. I mean, I've spoken to the heads of some parties, about 2 or 3 of them, who are friends of mine. They're outright sick of it. They're sick of people coming in, taking completely minute issues and blowing them up into the greatest schism since socialism in one country. And it's absolutely nonsense. Now, another thing they're doing is really attacking Caleb Mottman. Caleb Mottman's a good friend of mine. I'm a big supporter of his, and he's a big supporter of mine. Now, this is really stupid, because they're accusing him of contradictory things. They're accusing him of being an Iranian agent, a Russian agent, a CIA agent, a counterpol agent, accusing him of being an anti-Semite, etc. So it's very interesting how Caleb Mottman could be a secret agent for like 3 or 4 different countries all at the same time, even when some of those countries are blatantly engaged in hostilities against each other. It just makes absolutely no sense. And this is part of the whole IDPOL thing. They're attacking anyone who disagrees with them and just outright making things up, even if they don't make any sense whatsoever. They attack Caleb Maupin for being a regular contributor to RT, for being a contributor to Press TV, which is the Iranian state television. And what's the problem here? It's the guy's job. He takes a very firm anti-imperialist stance. I would disagree with him on some particularly first worldist issues, which he would certainly disagree with me on. We don't see eye to eye on absolutely everything, but we are both staunchly anti-imperialist. And that's one of the best things about Caleb Maupin, is that he is staunchly anti-imperialist. And he can actually get right out very, very close to the mainstream media and actually get that message out there. Yeah, it's coming from RT, which represents Russian interests, of course. I don't think anybody's under any kind of illusion about anything else, or Press TV for that matter. But the point is, he is getting that anti-imperialist message out there, which is in a near mainstream media capacity, although I would actually consider RT to be mainstream media. And that's what makes what he does so important. But then turn around and just completely make things up about him. I mean, the same thing's been done to me. I've been accused of being homophobic, transphobic, racist, just like every identity thing you could possibly think of I've been accused of, with none of it being backed up with anything. Just anytime you hear somebody say that, say, provide evidence. It's not forthcoming. They just claim it. Because, particularly as it relates to me, it was not so much the anti-IDPOL, but the third worldism. And these special little snowflake kids don't like being told that they're not the center of the fucking universe. And that, maybe the other 99% of the world's population, or the 99% distribution of wealth, might be a little bit more important than them. And then, as I've pointed out more than once, and have provided the source for, if you make $34,000 a year after taxes, you're literally the global 1%. And when I bring up facts like that, and I say, well, look at Marxists in the first world. They're petty bickering over their identities, denouncing other groups for perceived slights. Oh, your line isn't 100% the same as ours, and they engage in wrecking activity, cop jacketing, etc. And then you look at organizations in the third world, particularly Marxist organizations in the third world, which are basically getting killed, trying to fight. And though a lot of them at this time are looking to surrender and stop fighting. But you see the great, big, huge contrast there. Do you see, as much as I would disagree with Joe Masisan, which would be the leader of the Communist Party of the Philippines, on many issues, particularly his capitulation to Duterte, do you see him running around calling people shitlords? Do you see FARC going around saying, well, this and this identity this, or this and this identity that? No. Because they're too busy trying to actually do something. This kind of petty Facebook bickering is a first worldist phenomenon, because they're the only ones who are not doing revolution, who have time to fight over petty insignificant things. And this is not, I'm not saying anything new here with regards to first worldism. I've been saying this for a while now, and now it's becoming much more evident as more people are turning away from the IDPOL thing. And this is a trend that's going to continue. The IDPOL people, your time is up. You've sat there with your postmodernist garbage, frankly, ideologically masturbated to yourselves, and made yourself out to be these particular terrible victims when you're literally the global 1%. Your time is done, okay? I've been waiting the past 3 years for this kind of garbage to start going away, because it's really annoying. And these same people who are complaining about, supposed Nazbols, they're calling everybody Nazbols now. The term, anyone you didn't like, you just call it a tanky, to the point where the term tanky doesn't mean anything anymore. It just means someone you disagree with, because it's been so overused and improperly used. The new thing is Nazbols. To anybody you don't like is now a Nazbol. If you don't believe 100% in the absurdity of a lot of identity politics, you're now a Nazbol. Now, what's really interesting here is that the identity politics people are very much postmodernism. Anything means whatever it is that you want it to mean, because your identity is more important than anything else. Here's what's really important. Edward Limonov, the founder of the National Bolshevik Party, now called the Russia, he was a postmodern novelist. And in fact, postmodernism had a great deal to do with the founding of National Bolshevism. But somehow those of us who are anti-postmodernism are the Nazbols. It's just very ironic how that actually works out. So, to recap, we really need to end this identity politics garbage. And the trend is already here, the trend is already building, and it's time that we fully break from these poisonous, toxic people of identity politics who do nothing but wreck unity and wreck and prevent any honest discussion that would forward the science of revolutionary thought. They're too stuck in their own bloody identities, masturbating to themselves to even consider the basis of revolutionary science. And it's about time we threw these people in the dustbin of history. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.